My name is Emma Jane Dean, and this is my video for 30 Seconds to Mars. I will be answering some of the questions I've been asked to look over. So, first of all, to start with, the first question, what is your biggest dream? My biggest dream at the moment is to make sure, make sure I raise my daughter as best I possible can. That would involve making sure that she's always courageous enough to speak her mind, that she doesn't fear no man, and that she's always willing to follow her heart. Therefore, she'll always be happy because she knows what she's doing is right for her in life and doesn't settle for second best. That would be my dream, that my daughter becomes a young lady like that. Then I feel I've done a good job. Second question, if you could say one thing to the Echelon, what would it be? I would say thank you. Thank you everybody for being on Vert all this time, any time, day or night, 24/7. I think it's fantastic. It was all getting involved all the time in conversations, social theatre, just general chit chat really. I find it really a very friendly, sociable community, and I really appreciate our chats, especially times when I might be here and it's getting late and you know, I'm still awake at night basically, and there's always someone to talk to, and I like that. So thank you again everybody. Question 3 I was going to answer. Let's see, what was the most difficult period in your life and how did you deal with it? Right, well, this July I had a major operation on my back. Basically it turned out to be all linked back to the forceps delivery I had with my daughter, which was almost 8 years ago. And it took a while for the hospitals to all find out exactly what was the problem, blah blah blah. Anyhow, after the operation I was very immobile. I couldn't even lift a cup of tea up without pain. I couldn't turn a key in the door, couldn't move around the house. I had a walking stick. It was crucially the worst time of my life, basically, physically, mentally, spiritually. And as it happens, this is when Mars came into my life. I was here one day. Yeah, I was pretty upset, to be honest, and I was thinking, gosh, how do I make it through the rest of today? And in doing so, I have tomorrow to still get through. And I put some music on. I just thought, right, put on the TV, put the music on, then just, you know, try not to focus on things and relax a little bit. And that's the first time that I heard the song "The Kill" by 30 Seconds to Mars. And I was just struck actually by the voice itself when Jared was singing, and when I turned around to see the TV to see, you know, what's that voice, you know, where's it coming from, what's the song, etc. It was just fantastic in his video, basically. The Shining, because I realised that one right away. I thought, oh yeah, Red Rum. Scared my parents with that, writing it backwards in the, no, actually writing it forwards on the mirror in their bedroom. Murder backwards, yeah, not good. Anyway, and from there, anyway, I took on, I really loved the song. I loved the song. Yeah, it felt like everything I was feeling at the time was just there. Like I was in so much pain, so frustrated, so not me. That's how I felt right then and there, because it wasn't, felt like an 80-year-old woman, to be quite honest. I was acting like an 80-year-old woman. It was horrible. Yet, you know, mentally I'm kind of like, this isn't me. I'm screaming inside. I want to be doing something else. I should be doing this, should be doing that. Couldn't do any of it. So basically I got hooked on this song. So I looked it all up, and there was more songs. So it went from like a trilogy of events, basically. It was The Kill, and then we went on to, let me remember fast which one it was, Close to the Edge, because yeah, certainly felt like that right this time. It's awful. Do or Die. Yeah, Do or Die was one of the best ones, because yeah, that was so apt to what was going on. It was kind of like, you've got to get through this day, you've got to crack on even though you're in a lot of pain, and you know, so that was Do or Die for us. So yeah, When I say us, I mean my daughter and I, yeah, around the house. It was mental. But anyway, and then what happened? Well, we ended up close to the edge, do or die. There was another one. This is War. That was the other one. Yeah, they're like war because of the battles we were going through all that time. Yeah, throughout the summer holidays, it was hard. But it was a case of not giving up. It was a case of still fighting on. It was a case of it will get better, have positive attitude, that you get stronger each day, you know. And it did, it worked, and the music helped me. We call it rehab. It's like called rehabilitation when Jared's shouting jump, jump, jump on the stage all the time, and everybody get up and jump. So that's quite amusing. Yeah. And so my proudest achievement, that's another question, so far in my life would definitely have been getting through all of that this summer. Yeah, most certainly. It was hard actually because of a single mum. I was originally told by the hospital that if the first 3 weeks after the operation, you wouldn't be able to be doing anything really other than resting in bed. And if I had no one around to help me out with friends or family, they'd have to put a care plan in place for me, which basically meant staying in hospital for 3 weeks, and then an emergency care plan in place for my daughter, which would have meant her going into foster care up until the point when I'd be fit enough to have her back home. So, it was awful. So on the day of the actual operation, I nearly walked out. In fact, I did walk out. I had to walk out and make all these phone calls to guarantee someone's picking me up and someone would be here in the home to be here with me. And I had someone stay for 3 weeks. That was hard. Yeah, that was the scariest time of my life. So the proudest achievement of my life was making sure that didn't happen, that we weren't separated. That after all this time of raising her on my own, I just felt it was really unjust. It felt like I done nothing wrong, but at the same hand, I could have lost her and put her through all of that, going through foster family, and I'd never do that. I'd never give her up. So that was the whole point, is why it really hurt. I hadn't done anything wrong. It was just had a forceps delivery that went wrong nearly 8 years before, and that was my fault. But effectively, it impacted me all this time later with my own little daughter. So that was really hard. So the proudest part about it all is I managed to, reel up the troops. Had some really great support around me, neighbours, friends from school, my daughter's at school helping out, other neighbours bringing meals round, cook meals ready just to put in the microwave, and helping out with laundry, taking my daughter out. So all of that all together is kind of like a jigsaw piece is put together, is what made it work, and that was fantastic. Yeah, that was a challenge and a half, whether it was even going to be pulled together in time, but it did. So that was what made me really happy as well. I could come home and my baby was here, and I could be here, and everything was fine. And the operation could go ahead, which was all about improving well-being because of the problems that had gone on. So that had to be done as well, because that had been affecting me. Oh yes, obviously, so it took them so long to find out, just because it was rare apparently. Yeah. Tell us about Jared, Shannon, and Tomo. I think they're really funny. Yeah. I've seen their interviews and they're always joking about, and I think they have a good time together despite all of their running around and every little hard work that they do. They always make time for each other, and the fans, that echelon. Don't say fans, that's not the right word. Yeah, I love the way on the shows they're so engaged with the fans. Then again, echelon. Right. Don't tell me off. Yeah, I love the way they get all the supporters up on the stage. Oh, I love that one, Kings and Queens, and everyone's getting up. Yay! I was like, wow, that's amazing. I love all the bouncy balls, actually, local bouncy balls that come down. That they look cool. I think that'd be really fun to see in a concert. And just all the talking, yeah, all the engagement they have with all the audience all the time on the shows. and running around and jumping in the crowd. That's crazy but funny. Yeah, I think it's really good. So I think it's a very lively show. I think everybody enjoys themselves on the concerts and have a great night, which is what it's all about, isn't it? Just letting go for the time being, forget all your problems, enjoy yourselves. And yeah, they certainly seem to do that with everybody who turns up for the concerts. Also, Vert. Yeah, I love that. Found that as well this summer. I like the fact that we can go on it, and then Jared, Shannon and Tomo will come on, and we will all sit there and we can see the new episodes that are all getting released right now, which are really cool. And we get to chat and say hello, and that's really fun, and that's really nice, because you don't really get to do that, do you? Otherwise with most other, I don't know, any other band really. So that's really cool, and everybody gets to know them better and find out what's going on, what's happening here, and it's really nice. What was your last question? If you could be anywhere in the world right now, where would you be? I've thought loads about this question. I guess my favourite place, would love to go to, would be to Egypt, to see the 3 pyramids, because I love everything to do with space, astronomy, and planets and stars. So obviously with them being built by the way that theory says that they were used in the ancient times to look through this, line up with the stars, Orion's belt, all of that. I would just love to go. Just to see as well the size of them, humongous. Can you imagine it? I mean, maybe some of you out there have already seen them, so look at you. I'm jealous. I'd love to go and see them. Yeah, I think maybe who knows, this year, how with the passport, we'll see if I get there eventually. That would be great. Tell us the secret. It's the last question. I hate this question. Okay. I don't know. What's the secret? I got a sad secret. I mean, that's not great. I don't know if you want to say that one day. Okay. My daughter's father, has never seen his daughter. He refused to. He told me when I split up with him when I was pregnant. So I wasn't happy with him. It wasn't working out. And I said the door would always be open for him to see his child. I didn't know if it was a boy or girl back then. Whenever, because obviously I respect the fact he's the father. It just didn't mean because things don't work out between us that it has any effect on a relationship with their own child. He wasn't happy with that, and he'd asked me to get an abortion if I wasn't going to stay with him, and I said no. And then he said if I went ahead and had the baby, he didn't want anything to do with me or the baby, not to come after him for any money. And as I was leaving his car, basically I was getting out of the passenger side. I'd already asked him to pull over 3 times before all this happened. Anyway, as I was leaving out the passenger door, he said to me, "And don't tell anyone I'm the father." I said, not a nice man. So it makes me sad for Bev though. She asked obviously about him and when he's going to see her, and I just don't want her own self-esteem being affected by the fact that it's him with the problem, it's not her. And I love her to bits. She's my whole little world, and I'm all that she knows in her little world right now. So as she's getting older and she gets to school age and everyone starts saying, "Oh, but you're meant to have a mummy and a daddy," and she said, "No, I've just got a mummy," which is true. Well, it's just me and her. And obviously where we lived on the street, there were others who just had dad with 2 sons, mum with another girl. She thought if you were a mum you had a girl, and if you were a man you had a boy. So she never actually thought there was anything up with it until she went to school, and all the other children started telling her you have to have a mum and a dad to have a baby, and that was pretty upsetting. So yeah, that's the end of my video. Bye.